Small. So this is the first time that I'm trying to narrate a story on YouTube on my channel. I don't know whether you'll be liking it or not. And as my first content, I have picked up this not so well known, not so popular, yet very interesting story from a place where I currently reside in because of my work, obviously. So actually, though I hail from Kolkata, at present I'm posted in Medinipur, which is a town with a very rich history. It has got immense contribution. The people of Medinipur, they have got immense contribution in the history of India in the during the colonial era, and be it education and also in the Indian struggle for independence. But if that's for some times later. So today I'll be focusing on a story that's not very well known, not very popular, but it's very interesting. And since it dates back to the 1700s, so here it's not very well documented history. The history gets mixed up with folklores. So today, we are here to narrate the story of Queen Shiromani, the last independent queen of Karnovar, also known as Abashkar, Medinipur. It is around, I guess, 10 to 12 kilometers away from the main town. And she is one brave beauty who fought with the British, much like the very well-known Queen Lakshmi Bai or the Rani Bhavani of Nator, but yet she is not very famous to us in the present generation. She has not been very well documented in the modern in history. So actually, in order to narrate her story, we have to it's better to know something about her. So she was born in 1728 and she was married off to Raja Ajit Singh of the Sadgop dynasty. As we can see, the Sadgop dynasty, or in Bengali we call Shodgop, it there are several clans in Bengal. The Shodgops are mainly belong to the Gwala family, as in people who are associated with dairy products. They raise cows and all, but and now it has formed a separate caste. So the Shodgop dynasty, the earliest known man of this dynasty was King Lakshman Singh. Then comes Raja Sham Singh, Chottu Roy, Raghunath Roy, Ram Singh, Jaswant Singh, Ajit Singh, and finally Queen Shiromani, who is the last independent queen of the dynasty as well as of Medinipur, before Medinipur lost its independence for the first time to the British. Queen Shiromani, she was the wife of King Ajit Singh, and Ajit Singh, he had another wife by the name of Queen Bhabani. Now, when Ajit Singh died in 1753, he was childless, and the kingdom was left in the care of his two queens, Queen Bhavani, the elder one, who also died in 1760, and now it was in the hands of Queen Shiromani. So, actually, the story of Queen Shiromani, it is very closely linked with the Chuar rebellion. So, who are these Chuars basically? Chuars are mainly tribals of the area. Chuar, they were actually lower caste people belonging to Bagdi, Kurmi, Kora, Leto, these communities. So, and this is actually the Chuar rebellion is one of the earliest rebels against the British regime. And there's a very prominent difference from the Sepoy Mutiny, because while the Sepoy Mutiny, though it is popularly known as the first struggle of independence, because a large mass of the Indian population, they gathered under one flag to revolt against the British, it was the main thing that sparked this rebellion was, the because the British had hurt religious sentiments of these people, because there was this rumor going around that the rifles, the new cartridges of these new rifles, they consisted of meat, fat from both pigs and cows, while pigs were something that Muslims cannot consume in the religion, and cows are a revered animal to Hindus, and you have to bite off a cartridge to use it in warfare. So that is why the Sepoy Mutiny, though it involved a large section of the Indian population and it spread like wildfire, yet this Chuar rebellion was solely a struggle to protect their own land. Chuars, they, as I already said, they were inhabitants of the land, as we say in Bengali, Bhumiputro, the son of the soil. So actually they were also paikars or rayats. So that what is that? That is, they enjoyed tax-free lands from the zamindars. They were involved in some kind of service, and in return they enjoyed tax-free land from the zamindars. Now when the East India Company started to rule, they initiated this tax system. They urged that everybody had to pay taxes, and this was something unthought of for the Chuars, and they thought that this is not done, this is not rightful, because this was their own land. Why pay taxes for the land, for the soil that belongs to me? Because this is my soil, why should I pay taxes for this to somebody else? So, and the tribals, they are very particular about their own rights. Time and again we have seen that. So they rose, and this uprising took place not only in Medinipur but also in Bakur under the leadership of Durjan Singh, in Dholbhum under the leadership of Vaidyanath Singh, under the leadership of Ganganarayan Singh in Birbhum, and also under the leadership of this one female queen, the tigress of Medinipur, that is Queen Shiromani. Where Queen Shiromani resided, that is Kornogor. Gor is actually another word for a fort in Bengali. So these are the ruins of Karnagod that can be seen even today. And there is this, I think, there's a Shiv temple. His name is Dondeshwar, and the Mahamaya temple, Mahamaya Rajrajeshwari temple, that is very famous, and it exists even today. Documented history. So according to documented history, as I was saying, the brief bits that I could gather from the pieces around the web and from certain books. Obviously, I have not been involved in a very broad research work. So there were around 5,000 tribals who united under her leadership. They fought against the British, and the story goes such that she was ultimately betrayed by her own diwan, and ultimately she lost the battle. She fought with her Chuar subjects like a brave lioness, but she ultimately lost the battle. And then she was confined first in Calcutta and then in Hijli jail, which is in Kharagpur. And some sources say that she was confined in the Abashgarh fort till the end of her life for 13 years until she expired in 1812. However, there's this famous Bengali author, Subodh Ghosh. He has this one book which is King Bodontir Deshe, and here he has written a very interesting piece on this queen, which is much of a folklore, as I was saying in the beginning of this video, that history intermixed with stories, and stories are always very interesting. So it goes such that Queen Shiromani was born in a small village near Karnagod, and there she used to play with a little boy of her age when she was just a girl, and they were very good friends, they were best friends, and this boy was a Brahmin, his name was Janardhan. So, but one day, Queen Shiromani, she was very well known for her beauty. So one day, the king saw her, king spotted her, and he wanted to get married to this girl. So she was very happy. She was not from a very well-to-do family, and she was going to be the queen of the land she had played in. So she was very happy. So on the day of the marriage, she was already married to King Ajit Singh. She came to seek blessings from from Janardhan, so who was her childhood mate. And she said that, please bless me, as girls say on the day they leave their father's house. So this boy, he looks at her with cruel eyes, with eyes that feel strange, and he says, well, you seek my blessing. And in the language of Subodh Ghosh, because certain sentences, they cannot be exactly translated. So Subodh Ghosh writes, he says that Ami Ashirvad Kori Tomar Sarvanashok. That is, well, I'm blessing you that you lose everything and you are ruined. So Queen Shiromani, she is struck. You are my childhood best friend, what are you saying? And then she looks into his eyes and she understands that he was in love with her, but he had never expressed anything of this sort in all these years. How was she to know? She was no mind reader. So, and now, what is the point of this jealousy when she was finally married? So she looked at him again and she said, what are you saying? I'm going away, I'm married. We have been playing for years, kindly bless me. So Jonathan looks at her and says again, repeats the same word, yes, I bless you. May you be ruined for life. So now the queen looks at him without batting an eyelid, with a strange expression in her now stone face, and she says in a very sullen voice, okay, if such is your blessing, I accept it with an open heart. In Bengali, Subodh Ghosh writes that Tomari Ashirvad ami mathai kore dilam. So the years pass by, and now it's time for the Chuar rebellion. And the Chuar subjects, they refer to her as the mother, and they are engaged in guerrilla warfare. They guard the Abashgarh fort with unnerving brilliance, and in the dead of the night they go out of the fort from God knows where, and they set fire to the tents that the company puts up around the area, around the banks of Kongshaboti. Kongshaboti is the principal river of Medinipur, also known as the Kashai, because in Bengali, everything has got a nickname. Even the river Kongshaboti has a nickname, which is Kashai. So, and the company, they're devastated that because these people, they're peasants, they're tribals, they are not people who are engaged in warfare. So who is training them? Where are they learning such skills? So day after day, the company is setting up spies, and the spies are getting caught in Abashgarh or Karnagod, and they are being executed. But one fine day, while Queen Shiromani, she's sitting in her palace, and somebody brings along a spy. So Queen Shiromani looks at his face and she's stunned, because she has known this face for quite a long time. Yes, we are correct to guess that it's Janardhan, her childhood mate, her lover, and now Sadhu Janardhan, because he has dressed up as a saint. So when Shiromani looks at him and she orders her folks away, and they look each other for a long time, and he asks him that, why have you come here? So you have turned a spy to my foes. And after some conversation, she takes him to a hidden door of the palace, and she leads him out and says, don't go back to the company and don't ever visit Karnagod. So the Sadhu Janardhan, he leaves, and that night the fort is invaded, and from that very hidden door rushes in the British forces. And actually the governor had asked Janardhan that, what do you want as a reward? And he said that, as a reward for capturing Queen Shiromani. So He said that I want the captive and nothing else, and the governor had smiled. But the governor had not been true to his promise, and Queen Shiromani was dragged away by the British enemies. And when the Chuar subjects, they fought very bravely, but they lost and they were doomed, and only their leader escaped somehow. And for him, Queen Shiromani was no less than a goddess and a mother. So it so happens that even Jonardon, he didn't get what he wanted. It so happened that Jonardon was searching for Queen Shiromani, and so was this Chuar subject of hers. So both of them were searching, and this is an extraordinary line that Shubodh Ghosh writes, that there are these two pairs of eyes. One is full of envy and fire, and the other pair of eyes, it's full of tears. So ek joda jol bhara chok and ek joda jala bhara chok. So both of them, they see that her west footsteps go out of the palace, and then they find that she has torn her garland. She was wearing a garland. She has torn it along the way and spread the petals in the way she has departed. So they follow it, but somehow the path diverges, and following that, Jonardon ends up on the banks of Kongshabati, and for him, Shiromani has disappeared into the water. And for the Chuar subject, the petals lead him to the temple of Mahamaya, and for him, his mother, the queen, she has merged with the goddess in the temple. So that's one extraordinary folklore, and thus ends the tale of Queen Shiromani, last independent queen of Karnogod and Medinipur.